What do you think about Brian Ross and ABC News? I mean, we've been getting into it this morning. He's now been suspended, and rightly so, and he's accepting responsibility. But look, on Friday, how do you dial this back? The impact where he reports falsely that candidate Trump directed General Flynn to reach out to the Russians, and that this may have led to collusion, and that this may then basically lead to impeachment, which leads the markets to crash. They correct it after the markets have closed and after the media narrative, Governor, has been set.
Well, ABC first tried to do what they called a clarification, and then they finally realized they'd blown it, and they came out with a full-blown correction, and they suspended Brian Ross, none of which at all surprises me. Having been the object of Brian Ross's so-called investigative approach to journalism, I found him to be one of the most recklessly dishonest journalists I've ever dealt with. And that's saying a lot, because I've dealt with a few.
Yeah.
But it's
what do you
really,
mean? What do you mean by that? Is it,
no,
you know, anonymous sources? I mean, what's his approach?
Well, his approach is that he has a story that he wants to prove, and then he goes about and he just makes up some stuff, and then he gets sources that are, for the most part, impeachable sources, and then he puts together, and then he does an ambush interview where he just continues to hammer you after the same question over and over. It was so bad in one particular case where he was going after me that the crew, normally, who are agnostic about the content of the news, when it was all over, they said, "My gosh, what's that guy got against you?" It was that kind of moment, and it was ridiculous. He was totally wrong on the facts. This has been the same Brian Ross that tried to attach the Aurora, Colorado shooter to the Tea Party. Totally unfounded. I mean, I think Brian Ross has been unmasked as a person who has his own agenda, but it's not truth.